Hello everyone and welcome to what I consider one of the greatest video game remakes to be anticipated in history. So sit back and enjoy. So, first things first with this, I'm going to explain sort of how this video is going to go down. It is kind of a long one, I do apologize for that, but it also was almost 12 hours in total footage, and I managed to cut it down to 43 minutes. So right now I'm talking through one of the cutscenes. This is not going to happen through most of the video. This is the only time, maybe once or twice after this, where you'll see me talking through an actual cutscene. I'm going to try and keep most of my commentaries through actual gameplay. I just want to take this downtime here to kind of explain how the rest of the video is going to go. As far as actual gameplay goes for this video, this is really the only part where it's normal gameplay that I'll be showing. It's not very in-depth as far as the actual gaming experience goes. Now, of course, this is a remake from a game from, 2004? So, I'm really not surprised that there isn't a whole lot of changes. They do have the new style versus the old legacy style that you could play in. I'm playing in the new style. I wanted to kind of see how it went compared to what the old style was. I definitely think that the new style works a lot better in today's day and age, especially being somebody who's playing this on PC. They did recommend a controller for this game, but I only use my controller for Souls-likes, so we are skipping that part. Getting used to some of the controls with this on PC did take some time. I found myself constantly trying to sprint with shift, even though that's the sneaking key. Constantly fat fingering keys because I just couldn't get the button mappings down right away. It did take me a little bit. Towards the end, I fumble with stuff a lot less in some of the boss fights, but there is still some mix-ups here and there with switching weapons or using the right items. Other than that, though, I do really think that the gameplay for this is spectacular. Moving around, collision with objects, as you can see here, is actually very well done. Not really bumping into anything, going places I don't want to go. I was able to get very close to cover and not have it clip me out of the way or clip into things. So they definitely took their time when remastering this, and I believe they did do all of this in Unreal Engine 5, if I'm not wrong. So the game looks fantastic. All of the environments look great. The character models look amazing. The items and stuff that you get to use throughout the game, I really didn't end up using all that much. I'm trying to just kind of pack stuff into this little bit here, because most of this is just going to end up being boss fights later on down the line and cutscenes. I figure out in this opening section that I really don't care to use the sonar ping that I keep trying to use, because it is pinging absolutely everything, and half of the stuff I couldn't find because I couldn't be asked. I just wanted to play the game, not really dig for anything right now, thus getting this video out on time. As far as the combat system goes, I do enjoy the close quarters usage of it. Very used to Metal Gear Solid 5, since that's obviously the most recent game to come out. The close quarters in this one is a lot more bare bones. You kind of just get close to a guy, and if he doesn't see you, then you get to hit him one time and Snake knocks him out. The taking hostage, I don't have any clips of it in here, because if I used everything out of this video would have been so long that it probably would have never got done. But one thing I did notice was when doing interrogations or taking a hostage, it was very, very finicky on keyboard and mouse. If you were pressing any other key besides your sneak key, it would not take somebody hostage. It would beat their face on the concrete and knock them out cold. I was not a fan of that. I wish they could have found some way when doing the buttons for this game to keep it from doing that. I also did want to throw this part in. The cure screen looks fantastic compared to the old Metal Gear Solid, which we'll have a picture up here. I know, obviously, it's just an updated screen, basically, but they did change some things. I like the selector menu. I couldn't really find any pictures of that specifically, but it did work out very well. I do want to take some time during this cutscene to show how true to form
This wasn't part of the plan.
they
What
really
happened to
kept
Adam?
the actual
What's your
cutscenes
code name?
themselves, aside from updating
Snake.
building models, updating character
Snake,
models,
huh?
keeping actually the exact
Well,
same
I'm
audio,
Eva.
which was surprising.
Are you here to tell?
Obviously, I've killed the audio on the old clips, but as I was listening through them, putting this all together,
What happened
they
to
were
Adam?
exactly the same. Now,
Colonel Volgan is a very suspicious
I know
man. He decided
that
Adam wasn't
David
right
Hayter,
for
the
his
voice
appointment.
of Snake, actually did
And you were.
do an interview where he stated in an article that
Yes.
he wishes Konami would have
Because
actually
I
brought
do
him
things
in
he
to
can't.
redo his Snake lines for the remaster.
I heard you used to be
I
the
don't
code
exactly
breaker
remember
for the
why
NSA.
they didn't reach out. I think
was.
they were just
4 years
choosing
ago, I
to
defected to the
remaster
Soviet
the
Union
audio
and
rather than re-record everything. Probably because
That's
some people weren't going to be
military.
available, or some people didn't
broom
want to
handle.
do it. Who knows?
It packs quite a
But
punch.
as far
Nice
as
to
the
have when you're on
upscaling for
bike.
the audio went, I think it
Held
actually
it
is
sideways
fantastically
and used the muzzle
done.
jump to create a horizontal sweep.
With these clips as
That was
well, I
impressive.
do want to apologize. I
Bet you've never
got
seen
them
that
lined up
technique in the West.
perfectly. They're the exact same
imitation,
frame rate,
isn't
the
it?
exact same
Yeah.
resolution.
It's a Chinese
It's
Type
just
17
between the
pistol.
two different
Around
games,
here. Even that's
they
hard to come
actually
by.
changed the scaling on the cutscenes
Don't
themselves.
worry, though. The one
So
I
everything that
got
you're
from
seeing
Bruce
on the
is
right hand
very
side is obviously the new game, and it's all bigger. You'll see here with Ava's head. On the left hand side, everything is lower
45, huh?
because they actually had a smaller framework to run with as far as the actual cutscenes were. It's almost like the camera was farther
you like
away.
it?
Obviously, it
The
wasn't.
feeding
They're
rail
still in
is
the same
polished to a
distance,
mirror
but
sheen.
it's almost like everything's just smaller.
Slide's been reinforced.
And we'll see that with a couple
And the
other
interlock
things
of
where I
the frame
wanted
is
to
tightened for added
compare the
precision.
two different
The sight system is
games
original
as far as their
too.
cutscenes
The
went.
thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. A long type trigger with non-slip grooves. A ring hammer. The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized.
This part of the game I felt like had to be left in no matter what. This is just an iconic part of the whole snake eater aesthetic. Snake eating a snake. And of course, it's something small, sure, but the updated graphics for all of it really just kind of make it almost unsettling. Seeing basically this almost hyper-realistic snake being ripped apart by a man with nothing but his teeth. So, definitely weird to see updated, but I think worth it for the game, of course. If it didn't have it, then that would just be a waste of time. And then this is just some other of the combat system in the game. It, again, very bare bones, of course. I'm not trying to say that the game's bad in any way or that it should have been better. I think this game is fantastic. I think it did a great job paying homage to the original game, paying homage to Hideo Kojima. I mean, he did a fantastic job with doing the original Snake Eaters and all the other Metal Gear Solid games for that matter. It's just, there's not a whole lot to talk about with the actual fighting mechanics in this game. I mean, it's pretty simple. Knock a guy out, maybe shoot him with an actual gun, but there's not a whole lot to really delve into, really get any sort of in-depth detail about it. Sure, I can move a body around like I am right now, but I can tell you after this, I never did this to another body in the entire game. And this was maybe an hour into it out of the 10 it took me to finish this game on normal. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. I know that the looting system is tied to dragging bodies, I think, unless I am just really stupid and couldn't figure out the other ways to loot people. But as you can see right there, pick up and put back down is the only way I knew how to loot people. So if somebody somehow knows something better, definitely let me know, because I'll use it in my next playthrough.
They prefer to hunt alone.
This is another cutscene where I felt like I really needed to have a side-by-side of it. I love this whole overdone pistol twirling with Revolver Ocelot. Of course, he's just Ocelot in this game, but he might as well be Revolver Ocelot at this point. And the way that they got every single movement matched up perfectly, this really makes it feel like a genuine remaster as opposed to some things claiming to be remasters but they end up being reboots. This one definitely keeps it true to form in every aspect, especially with this. They have every single movement right, they have every single line right, the stances, the areas, it's all perfect as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Draw!
I've caught you at last. We are the sons of the boss. I am the pain. I will guide you to a world of anguish beyond your imagination. Let's get started.
One thing about these boss fights is they do take a while, especially coming back into this 21 years later. It definitely takes a lot to try and remember how these things really work. I have a terrible memory, which I ended up forgetting most of this game between then and now. But the pain is, all things considered, not too hard of a boss fight. Maybe a little bit annoying, just especially because of the swarms of bees that force you to have to dive rather than just trying to fight them out the whole way through. But it's definitely an interesting fight, basically doing the entire thing from the water. Again, cut out a lot of it just because I didn't want this video to end up being so long. I do think it's interesting that the bees do catch the grenades as well. And then you can still use them to actually get an upper hand on the pain. But this fight, really not that bad. Pretty easy. I want to say I had it done in maybe 10 minutes. And that's just because of the iframes that you have to go through and trying to dodge the bees, staying away from certain attacks, that sort of thing.
The pain. The pain. The pain. The pain. Coated in the venom of the Brazilian wandering spider. Soon a most exquisite pain will engulf your entire body. Your limbs will be paralyzed, your lungs cease to draw breath. Eventually your heart will stop beating. Ah, but what fun would that be? Nothing better. The boss's apprentice. I will give you fear such as you've never experienced before. Come into my web. It is time for you to feel the fear.
Fear is probably the second easiest fight in this game on normal mode. Again, I wasn't playing on some extremely hard difficulty just for the sake of making it hard for myself. I wanted the game to be more of a story experience, especially for this video. But this fight really just ended up breaking down into two core parts. One, don't get hit by grenades because that's really the only thing you have to worry about. And two, don't lose him like I did right there. In the second half of this boss fight, the Fear gets extremely quick. He throws those grenades, which are annoying. But the jumping from tree limb to tree limb, with as fast as he is, I actually did lose him, even though his active camouflage really isn't all that good for today's gaming standards. It's not that hard to really keep track of him. It's just, once he gets behind one tree, I would lose him. Gets behind another tree, I'd lose him again. Once you find him, you get like 2 shots on him before it goes back to iframes, and then he jumps away and you lose him a third time. But this boss fight, not too hard. Definitely an easier one. Not the easiest one by any means, but very, very easy.
The fear! The fear! I see it! The fear!
Hello?
I beg of you, grant me the strength to take this final prey. Let me linger in this world just a little longer. I have already slept enough for one lifetime. Enough for an eternity. You have my thanks. I have to thank you for waking me. If you hadn't shown up, my sleep would have been eternal. Do you hear me, Snake? I am the end. I am here to send you to your ultimate fate. You'll make a fine quarry for my final hunt.
As I said, with the Fear not being the easiest fight in the game, this is definitely the easiest fight in the game. Both for two reasons. One, this fight, if you actually choose to play it, is basically just a big-ass game of hide-and-seek. This guy runs, he hides in a bush, he shoots at you if he sees you, but he never really hits you. At least he never hit me. And then you hit him a couple times with a sniper in the forehead and he dies. I'm also going to talk over his cutscene because it's really nothing special. He just yaps about having no regrets and finally getting to die. But if you would choose to, obviously I didn't, because if I did, this video would not be out right now. You can enter the boss fight with the end, then close the game, save and quit for 2 whole weeks. If you come back after that 2 weeks, the end just is dead. He dies of old age, and you don't even have to do the boss fight. Now, if you're like me, you want to actually play the game, you're not going to do that. But if you really didn't care about it, especially for somebody who played the old game and already knew about that, you may have just done it for the sake of doing it. I didn't want to. I would much rather have fought him, played the game, got the video out, did it that way. But I do think it's interesting that they kept that. It's very, very cool that they kept that ability for you to be able to do that if you so desired to. But I don't find it to be very practical, especially because you have to wait a whole 2 weeks just to finish the game. This part of the game I also felt definitely needed to stay in it. Some of you have played this game before, you will recognize where I'm at right now, but I'm just going to let it speak for itself, so sit back, relax, and enjoy what you could consider an interlude, smack dab in the middle of the video.
With darkness and silence through the night, what a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
I hope you enjoyed the song break of the comically long ladder. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I am the Fury. The flames of my rage will incinerate you. I came back from space. As I returned, I had one vision. The world set ablaze. And do you know what I saw there? Fury. A great and terrible fury at being alive. Now you're going to feel the scorching heat of that horrible blackness.
the Fury was actually a very fun fight to do. I really couldn't remember a single thing about this fight at all. A little bit annoying just from the fire alone, because he would completely cut off entire corridors that you were trying to use against him. And one thing that I didn't actually realize until right here, the barrels played a huge part. I mean, that was basically half of his full health bar, not just half of what was left. Half of his entire health bar gone because he was standing right next to those barrels. And I missed the second set of barrels, but whatever. Finishing out the rest of the fight wasn't too bad. His iframes are actually pretty forgiving as far as how long they stay up and how quickly they actually come in. I mean, I got some decent damage there before he actually got into an invincibility state, and then the fight was finished just like that.
Boss, this is the end of the Cobras. You've got to live on. You're the only one left. I'm off to join the sorrow. Behold, the flames of fury. The fires of hell will purge me clean. I can see it. Mission Control, do you read me? I'm coming home. I see the earth.
This is another one I'm going to be talking through. This fight is not really fun. Anybody who's played the game will recognize the sorrow. He, while being a boss, still is not really any sort of actual boss fight. It's just kind of a nuisance, especially if you're like me and like to go gung-ho, we'll say, with your AK-47 or your 1911, and killing everyone that really crosses your path. That makes this fight, in quotes, way, way harder. And not even because you have to really fight anything, but we will see here in a second what I'm talking about. Every single person that you kill in this fight, well, before this fight, comes back in this sort of little boss challenge, we'll say, and you can't really do anything about it. Which we'll see that here in a second.
May not hear them. Their voices may fall upon deaf ears, but make no mistake, the dead are not silent. Now you will know the sorrow of those whose lives you have ended.
Okay, so as you can see here, lots of ghostly apparitions who are literally sucking my life force out of my body. Can't kill them, can't get rid of them. You can stun them for about a second, but it really doesn't do much. If you try to dive past them, one grabs you by the feet, makes it so you can't actually move anywhere and just get the shit beat out of you. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass. This took me a while just because of how slow it is, and once I got to the end, I had completely forgotten how to actually beat him. I'm not gonna really say how in case anybody would plan on playing the game, but it was a pain in the ass. I wish I would have been a bit more conservative with killing people for that boss fight.
It's just you and me now. And I'm gonna enjoy this. Snake! You're mine, son of the boss!
Volgin was probably my favorite boss fight in the game. I skipped that because he actually did kill me once there. But I really enjoyed this boss fight. There was a lot to it, a ton of different moves. It almost felt kind of like a Souls-like in a way. I had to really memorize some of the stuff he was doing, trying to not get punched in the back of the head like that, trying not to lose the ammo in my gun. One of his lightning attacks just completely saps the bullet from your weapon altogether. That's why you'll see me equipping and then unequipping my AK a lot during this kind of little scene for the fight. You can't do anything to him when he's electrified like that. You kind of have to just stay away from him. If those bolts hit you, they will take all the ammo out of your gun if you're holding it, so you gotta put it away. You really have to pick your fights with this battle, so it made you kind of think on your feet. Can't deal damage to him, gotta remember things. You'll see here, I completely misread which attack he was doing and then just got littered with bullets. But when he's not electrified, you can damage him. When he is electrified, you can't. No matter what. You'll see in a second here, I think, putting him on the ground. Okay, never mind. I got too close to him. Got zapped, ended up just completely ruining me dodging that one attack. Using CQC on Volgin definitely makes it easier, but it almost feels like it's extremely inconsistent. And I'm sure that's part of the game. Like here, put his ass on the ground, immediately try to swap to my AK, but he was already in iframes beforehand. I don't know if maybe I messed something up, but attacks like that one, if you can dodge them and get behind him, you can deal some pretty good damage. Like here. I'm sure if I was able to do that a lot more and have it done in a lot quicker of an amount of time, I probably could have had this fight done a little bit easier without actually dying, but I was kind of getting a feeling for it, trying to get used to it again, putting him on the ground, trying to fill him with bullets as quick as possible, because right there you'll see I didn't even get a single bit of damage off, and that was just because I think it just has a random amount of time for the energy to come back, or the electricity to come back. And this one, he had a lot longer for that attack. In some of the other ones, it was a lot shorter when he would use those lightning bolts. So I'm not exactly sure if there's really any rhyme or reason, or you just kind of have to pick your battles. But eventually I did beat him. I did really like the fight. It was a lot more challenging than some of the other ones. Probably the hardest fight of all the bosses in the game, including some of the ones later on. They were just nothing compared to this one. A lot easier, no deaths or anything like that. But I did really enjoy Volgin's fight. So I did fast forward a lot to get to this fight, but most of everything is just a split between some crazy cinematics that you have to shoot through and cinematics that you don't. It honestly was a little bit of a headache just flipping between them a lot. But this fight, even though it's basically against a giant metal machine, really wasn't that bad compared to the normal Vulcan fight. And it is just Vulcan, again, for anybody who doesn't know, gets in the Shagohod, chases you down, ends up ditching half of it, and then fighting you with what's left.
No.
Get off!
What?
I'm gonna lure it back here.
You're gonna use yourself as bait? Are you insane?
I'm used to this guy. I know how to handle him. Come on, you blockhead!
Huh?
The second half of Volgan's fight with the Shagohod was actually probably one of the easiest fights in the game. I didn't quite understand it. As you can see, I hit the weak spot from round 1 thinking that that was what I needed to do. But it was targeting Volgan with the heavy guns around the arena that was really what the plan was. I didn't think that if I would just mag dump him like I was, it would break through his shield that easily, but it did. Still using the RPG to immobilize him made it even easier because I could just get to those guns before he could even really have an idea of what was going on. The fight itself was definitely fun, a lot quicker than the first half too, because I didn't have to rely on Eva to really do that much. It was more or less just me pumping damage into Volgan as quick as possible. Here we see another instance of where I really wanted to have the side-by-side comparison of cutscenes. Once again, showing just how faithful Konami kept it to Kojima's original vision. Again, apologizing for the windows themselves not exactly lining up, but they are timed pretty spot on as far as what the actual cutscenes looked like. And it just goes to show you how much things have come from 2004 to 2025. Of course, that's 2 whole decades and then some. But still, it's just amazing to see how far we've come as far as gaming, technology, even just movie technology in general.
Fried by a bolt of lightning. A fitting end. It's finally over.
And that brings us to the final fight of the game, and honestly a very anticlimactic one. The boss. I think I died to her one time due to me just fat fingering keys, and then I got stuck while she mag dumped me with her Patriot. But other than that, really not a whole lot going on. It kind of just felt like the first fight with Ocelot that I didn't leave in the video, but with a lot more freedom to move around. It's basically just two people on either sides of an arena shooting at each other. Not a whole lot going on. The actual cutscene is also just kind of something that didn't have a whole lot going on for it either.
Take this. Keep it safe. It's our only hope.
A Patriot? Why are you giving me this?
Jack. Or should I say, Snake? You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it.
I do just want to jump in here for some of my final thoughts. I know it's a little nitpicky with some of the cutscenes and some of the fights, but again, I know this game is very old. I mean, the game's 20 years old. They did a very faithful remaster. I'm very glad of what they did. They didn't take any creative liberty. They basically kept everything in Kojima's vision. And I really, really do hope that Konami as a team comes back and does some of the other older games. I know they've said about possibly doing some of them depending on how well this game was received. And as far as I've seen, everyone's absolutely loving this remaster. It is fantastic. The rest of the game is just basically cutscenes from here on out, so that's just about where it's going to end. Loved the game, probably will play it again. Definitely keep an eye on my Twitch if you feel like it. I may end up streaming a harder run, maybe even 100% runs at some point. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed.